Never eat at KFC. Guys, before I start this story, if you are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button with the notification bell on right now. Smash the like button. And after watching this whole story, leave me a comment if I should or should not have quit working at KFC. Okay, so tons of you requested this video. I obviously made part 1. If you haven't watched that, go check it out. But here we go. This is the reason that I quit KFC. And honestly, it's way worse than the first video. This one is disgusting and you honestly might never, and I mean never, want to eat at KFC ever again after watching this video, because it's insane and disgusting and just awful. It should never happen at a restaurant. Before I start, I just want to give you some brief facts to jog your memory on how long I'd been working at KFC for. So I'd been working at KFC for like a year, coming up to 2 years at this point. I'd gone through tons, and after part 1, so obviously we had the part 1 with the rats. After that occurred, I was probably working at KFC for another like 6 months. This happened about 6 months after, that whole situation. And honestly, this is way, way worse than rats in every single way. It still scares me to this day. And this is the genuine story why I've never, ever, ever been back into KFC in the last 2 years, 1.5 years, somewhere around there. And I promise you this, you will never catch me in a KFC. Facts. So anyway, let's jump on with the story. This might be a bit of a shorter one, but you'll understand everything. Okay, so I was actually very close to getting a promotion at KFC at this point. I'd been working there for a really good amount of time. Like I said, I was a dedicated worker, and I'd gone through the whole rat incident and not quit. Which, did I tell you? After that incident happened with the rats, the whole of the night shift, so that sort of 4 a.m. shift that was working at that time, there was 8 people working at that point, so me, the manager, and then 6 other employees. Those 6... they all quit. Every single one of them. So the only 2 left were me and the manager. That's how bad that incident was. So it's just me and him. We obviously get like a bunch of new people to do the whole late shift with. So I actually get the opportunity to sort of rise up the ranks of KFC and train them. And I had to train them at, doing the cashier. I had to train them at doing, the cooking and getting everything ready for meals and stuff. And it was fun. I genuinely enjoyed it. I've always loved talking and sort of learning about people and teaching people and giving my advice on how to do things properly. And if I might say so myself, it made the KFC shop's efficiency 10 times better with me in charge. So I should have been like general manager. You know what, Colonel Sanders? Just give me the whole brand. I would make it way better. You can now call me Colonel Simmons. Yeehaw. No, I'm kidding. Right, so this actually all took place in a day shift. So I was working, it was 1 p.m. It was genuinely at lunchtime, which is kind of insane. You wouldn't think people go to KFC for lunch, really, especially when it was a school day. It was a Wednesday and kids came in. So actually thinking back to it, what was going on? It wasn't a summer holiday. It wasn't like a holiday in general. It was a normal day. Anyway, I'm veering off the point again. I am really good at just like getting mistracked in stories. Right, no, so it's a random day. It's like a Wednesday or something like that. It's in the week, I remember that. And these kids come into the restaurant. Are we really calling KFC a restaurant now? Is that facts? So anyway, I'm inside the KFC, I'm stood behind the till, and I was thinking, there's not going to be many people here, it's 1 p.m, no one's really going to come in. Oh, how I was wrong, there was loads of people. So anyway, these kids come inside the shop, and they have parents, so again, really confused. They obviously had like bunked a day off school, or gone somewhere, I don't know, like the doctors or something, and just no one got back to school. They order a 16-piece bucket, and like I said, I was on the till, so I was actually serving. There was other people that I had trained working in the back on the cooking and stuff. So I take their order, 16-piece bucket, completely, normal. There was like 4 of them, so it made sense, a lot of kids eat food, blah. So I do the whole,
Yo dude, we need a 16-piece chicken bucket.
He goes and makes it in the cooking bit, and we're all good. And just so you know, because I need to explain this, the chicken had not been touched. The guy in the cooking, it had the chicken inside the cooker, took it out, put it in a bucket. That was literally it. There was no tampering. There was no idiotic things done to the chicken. It was straight from the storage to the cooker to the bucket. Just so you know, because it's going to make sense in like 3 minutes time. And just quickly before I get to the ending of the story, I just want to say there is so many things wrong with KFC. And I'm going to go into a rant right now, okay? No. And I'm just going to explain like two things that honestly built up to me quitting as well. I probably would have quit if this story didn't even happen in the first place. There's so much wrong. For example, a KFC chicken is just disgustingly covered in oil. It's gross. It really is. And honestly, the calories inside KFC is insane. You'd think it'd be decent because, oh, you know, it's just chicken. But no, it's insane. And obviously when you work at KFC, you get free KFC at the end of the day. Or like, you know, for lunchtime or whatever meal you're sort of there for. So I would eat loads of KFC. So it was also just really bad for my health. And I had tons of different experience. For example, the manager that actually worked there was an idiot. Genuinely hated him. He just always seemed to have something wrong with him. Always moaning about something. And the people that worked there after the ones that obviously quit in the night shift, they just sucked. No offense to those. I'm pretty sure they still work there now, but they just weren't fun people to be around. It was just boring. I just thought I'd explain that first before I don't want the whole thing to be put on this one incident. It all led up. And also my YouTube career was sort of building up, so I was like, you know, I'm going to go full time. Let's do it. Right, onto the actual beef of the story. So these kids get their 16-piece bucket. I give them the bucket, they pay, and then they go and sit down at the back of KFC and they eat their bucket. Honestly, these kids were going through it pretty quickly. The mum was also having a good time. And they were all just eating it, having fun. As you do when you go to KFC, you love it. Oh, they also had Crush'ems, but Crush'ems are just the best. I have nothing bad to say about Crush'ems. They're sick. So they start eating. They get to around, I'm going to say it was like 15 minutes after they ordered. They're still eating, but I'm going to guess they had probably like maybe 1 or 2 bits of chicken left. And if you've ever been to KFC, you know that the 16 bucket comes with, you know, 4 drumsticks and then 12 bits of the normal chicken wing things. The chicken drumsticks are obviously just by far the best thing, so they always get eaten first. And then you go into the wings that are kind of boring. You eat the skin first and then you eat the chicken. So that's exactly what happened. These kids ate the skin and I could see them. They were literally the only one. Well, not really the only ones, but there was very few people inside the store. So they're eating their chicken. They've probably got 2 pieces left. They all look full. And then this kid, you know, this kind of, you know, bigger kid, let's just say that, goes in for 1 more piece of chicken. He eats all the skin, bites into the chicken, and this is where things just get really disgusting. So if you know what, if you're squirmish in any way, honestly, you might want to fast forward past this bit. It's disgusting. So this kid bites into it, and I kid you not, eats, you know, like half of the chicken, genuinely half of the chicken wing, and then says to his mum, I guess it was his mum, turns to the parent and says, something tastes weird about this piece of chicken. And he'd already eaten half of it. Take that into account. He also told her that there was something crunchy. And I literally heard this. Like I said, they were at the back of the store. It's a really small KFC. Plus, I think the kid was really freaking out and I would have been too. He said it was crunchy. There was something wrong with it. I don't even want to say it. I genuinely am embarrassed for KFC. The parent takes the bit of chicken off of him, looks inside, you're actually inside the chicken and just remembering it makes me feel sick. I kid you not. There is like one of the biggest spiders, yes, spider, I've ever seen inside of this piece of chicken. And you could physically see like other, you know, eggs. There was eggs inside of the spider, you know, little spider eggs. It honestly makes me feel sick. It was disgusting and the parent throws the bit of chicken, just yoinks it. It went quite far, not gonna lie. Yoinks the piece of chicken and just runs to me and is like, yeah, and just starts screaming. The kid had eaten half of this chicken. I don't know how many eggs or spiders or whatever this kid had just eaten. He starts just crying. He's like he genuinely threw up. He starts puking everywhere. I feel so bad. Like, it's awful. The spiders then actually walk out of the piece of chicken because it was in the middle of, you know, the middle of the shop. One spider, the one that was actually still alive, I guess, walks outside the bit of chicken and just is just crawling along the floor, and I honestly feel sick. Okay, I'm gonna have to end this story really quickly. I have to run over and like cry because I am in shock. The kid just is, like I said, he's throwing up. The parent obviously just gets the most insane, comes up to me, starts having a huge go at me, gets the manager, starts having a massive go at him, then orders us to give her a refund, which, I mean, I would give her a refund times 5, to be honest. I'd pay her the money it cost to buy the chicken. I feel so bad for her and her kid. And after seeing this, I mean, you can probably guess what happens next, but I quit the very next day. I got through the rest of that day because I only had like 3 hours left of my shift. I finished at 5. And then literally the next day, I went into work at 9 o'clock, gave in my resume and left. Never ever will I ever go back to KFC or eat their chicken or even think about going into a KFC at all. Absolutely vile, will never go back at all. And honestly, I feel like I have ruined some of your guys' KFC experience. But I put a poll out the other day that says, you know, do you like McDonald's or Burger King more? And you guys said McDonald's and Burger King. So we're all good. You guys don't even like KFC. But thank you for watching this video. I hope you did enjoy. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace out. Love y'all.